art pieces that you see, passed down from generation to generation. And so this is actually a picture of a type. And for me personally, I find a connection with my grandmother because she looked at the same piece of art and she kind of has the same memory. She has that same connection with it, like, oh, it's symbolic of our culture and of our country. And I also have that same connection, so I looked at it as beauty uniting together. So, like, how far apart your eyes are spaced, or something you're looking at, my parents annoys me to no end.
Are these artworks really personal to you?
Yeah.
Is there relationships?
Some of them are like personal relationships, but some of them are abstract relationships.
Let's talk about your artwork. What is your favorite artwork that you've done and why?
My favorite style? Can you guess? This one's my favorite. Maybe because I spent the longest on it, and it's my favorite because it really took a long time, and me and the piece kind of battled a long time over whether or not I was finished, because I had the original idea to just have like 2 hearts made of string, and then a bunch of string in the middle, and then 2 more, and then a heart. But like I didn't know where I would go from there, and so I had that, and then I was like, I found this illustrated copy of Dante's Inferno, and I was like, I could use these pieces because like everyone in here is suffering like so much, and this picture is about like abusive romantic relationships and how a lot of times people are kind of mean to each other in a relationship because they don't know how to communicate or because they're unhappy, and instead of like doing anything to resolve it, they kind of are just mean to each other, but in the end they kind of deserve the abuse that they're getting because like you get what you put into a relationship, you get in what you get out sort of thing. And like obviously that's not always true, like if you're being like locked up in a closet or something, but like for the majority of relationships it's like if you're in a happy relationship it's your fault too. So like I found all these pictures of people suffering. He is the tattoo bad boy, quote unquote. He really isn't. This is what he looks like. He doesn't like the persona very much, but he doesn't really it doesn't really bother him. He wants to be remembered as a good person. But yeah, he's portrayed as this bad boy. So I interviewed him and I asked him all these questions that I had been writing down for a couple weeks. But it turned out that he's a lot better expressing himself through dance than through speech. So I did not really have very much to draw from. And he has all these tattoos, okay? And so I asked him what all the tattoos meant, and they represented significant parts of his life. And so I decided that that'd be something that I could work from, and so I started copying some of the tattoos, like this one, and his lion, but I am not a realistic drawer, so the lion has the wrong expression, and other like texts and his stars and stuff. And so I decided that since he has this cool personality and he has this specific persona already, that I'd use that. And so he's from Australia, so I'm going to put the Australian flag inside one of the pairs of shoes because I have 2 pairs of shoes. So I've started doing that on this pair, and it's impossible because they're extremely lumpy and curvy and I want really straight lines. And the tape is not working, and I accidentally used 2 types of paints, and so when I try and fix one paint, the other paint rubs off. So it's failing, but maybe I'll eventually get it to work. And on the outside, I want to spray paint it green, because painting is not working. And then I am going to write the text in a collage all over the outsides. And it's going to overlap and be different sizes and such, because he has a lot of text tattoos. And then I'm going to put the star on the back of the heel. And they're going to be identical. This pair is going to be identical. And
it has this very specific color scheme. You know, I altered the colors of the Australian flag a little bit to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing for my lime green color choice. And so that's my plan for this pair of shoes. And on this pair of shoes, and I plastered a pair of these because I wanted them really tough so I could do anything to them. And so I formed them, I curved them. So I actually like this pair more, that's why I'm starting with the other pair first. And so on these, I think I'm going to incorporate the lion because his name, Richard, I looked up what it meant and I dissected it and stuff, and it means like brave lion, and he's also a Leo, which he was pretty into when I talked to him. So I'll put the lion on these, probably very blown up and large across both of them so that they go together. And since they are really lumpy, I was considering adding another medium to them because I don't want the lumps, and I have not successfully gotten rid of them so far, like dark navy satin ribbon. I just have to incorporate it in a masculine way. So, those are my shoes. I'm going to do two shoes pretty last minute, so I have a pretty good grip of what I want to do with my first ballerina, or ballerino, Roy Gann, and the second one, he came in, he was pretty new, and he didn't really have an artist, and I felt it would be really unfair if he missed out on this opportunity. So, like my second pair of shoes, Alex Bieber, yeah. Okay, so for Roy Gann, it was pretty interesting to talk to him because I later found out that he was actually on his way to become a lawyer. And he even got the degree and everything, but he decided that his passion for dancing was a lot more than his passion to be a lawyer. So it kind of inspired me to do some of the writing well, not writing, but like the message that I want to put inside these shoes, which is going to be like something along the lines of following your passion and dreams. And, well, like, the deciding factor that really got me really thinking about what I'm going to be putting on the outside of his shoes was just the question that I asked him, which was, you know, where do you feel at home at? Where is your comfort zone, you know? And he said he really likes the hustle and bustle of the city, so he likes the hustle and bustle of the city, and like one of his favorite like cities would be like San Francisco. But I decided to incorporate Singapore, like San Marine Bay, because he is from Singapore originally. And on the other shoe, since he said he really likes to be in nature and like natural centers, I decided to incorporate like an autumny kind of nature place, like kind of like the place that I drew for my watercolor design, which is right here, and like incorporate just more autumny themes for it. And on the inside, I thought I'm going to fill it up with like henna designs, which can, you know, symbolize a lot about him. I'm also going to put a dragon inside just because he's like originally from Chinese descent, but he's lived in Singapore, like he was born there. And then for Alex Bieber, I'm kind of really lost at this point because I haven't really gotten much information about him. Since this was such a last minute thing, I wasn't really able to interview him. So the only information I really have is what Bridget told me, and so that he's really into like drama and like comedy. And so I decided to put like for his shoes something along the lines of like face masks, like portraying different sets of emotions, like with the background of like these flowy curtains and like stage lights, and because obviously if he's in the ballet, he really loves being on stage and performing. So something along the lines of that, and hopefully it turns out like I envision it. Yeah.
So my dancer is Stefan Kolka, and he is a dancer who was born in Ukraine and came to the United States when he was a lot younger. So he feels like he has like a really deep connection with the country of Ukraine, and he goes back there like every couple of summers and helps teach folk dance there. And that was actually how he became connected to ballet was he was really inspired by the folk dances in Ukraine, and when he came to the United States, he wanted to try dancing here too, and he just kind of thought that ballet was really cool and started doing it. He's been doing it since he was like 6. And he's also been playing the guitar since he was a really young kid, and he feels like music and the guitar is also a really big part of his life. So when I was talking to him, I asked him what he wanted his audience to know about him. And he said that he wanted his audience to know that he was more than just a dancer, that he has like this really strong connection to his roots, and that he has like a lot of wide interests besides dance. So I've been like researching things on Ukraine and other things that are connected to it, and when I was there interviewing him, he had like this necklace that he wore that had the Ukrainian coat of arms, and I took a picture of it, but it was really hard to make out what it was, so I got really lucky and I found it online. And this is what it looks like. I've been sketching it. And so I decided that I was going to make one shoe about his connection to his roots and the other about his interests besides dance, just so that the audience gets like a really wide perspective of what he's like. So another thing that I found was a picture of the Ukrainian flag, which is a blue stripe on top of a yellow stripe.